Hi, I'm Alice.
Hi, I'm Justin.
And you're listening to the Otterly Owlsome podcast. Who knows what we'll talk about?
Well, I like that.
Okay.
Boomer Sooner.
Oh.
Is that a boomer reference to an old person or a boomer to reference to a Sooner?
Oklahoma Sooners.
So what's boomer mean?
That's just their chant, Boomer Sooner.
Okay. Boomer Sooner. Boom. Okay, got it. Yep.
Yeah, like you say boomer and then they say sooner.
Oh, what was that game as a kid?
Red Rover.
What was Red Rover? One in the pool.
Oh, Marco Polo?
Marco Polo. That's it. Marco Polo. That's what I thought of. I got a new owl today.
You got what?
A new owl. Can you see it? You might have to make my window bigger.
There he is. It's like you draw them.
I wish I was creative like that one day. I have this tablet. I need to dust it off before I put it on camera. Ooh. The vacuum spins up a lot of dust. I have this that I bought. Wait, let's see. There we go.
Oh.
Years ago. It looks backwards to me. Is it backwards to you?
No.
Okay. The text right here is backwards for me. I bought this because I thought I was going to be able to use it with Miro and like do stuff, but it does not work like that at all. And then now Robert and Tom Robert, are working on a project, and I'm thinking I can use it to make drawings for a guy that can't draw. So it'll be interesting.
I
could draw owls.
People poorly.
What'd you say?
I can draw stick people poorly.
Yeah, that's actually what we're thinking is stick people. But before you say anything, so I was right before this started. I was prepping for the episode, doing my background, and I could put it in a little Word document that I don't really send to you anymore. I just make notes in it. Like one of the things we got to talk about today is in there. And I went to the news site for Jay Spenson's news.jace.pro, and there was this link to designer in application portfolio management. And I'm like, what? And so I go and click on the YouTube link, and it's like, create your architecture designs in ServiceNow on platform. I'm like, what in the world? How do I, Justin of all people doesn't know about this? And so I'm like, frantically before you get on, I'm like trying to find this in the notes, in the release notes. It's not there. It's just this YouTube video. And I'm like, okay, so maybe this is a vendor built a product on top of ServiceNow, and it's not something. So I'm like all super distracted at the moment.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, like, how long have architects been asking for, can we draw diagrams in ServiceNow? Hey, you're in David's office.
Huh?
You said you were going to kick him out of there. You were serious.
So I jokingly said it, and then after I was out there for a couple days, I had come. So my office was our spare bedroom, and so when anyone's in town, like my mom, she's not old, but like she has a bum knee and like doesn't want to go up. Mia's room is in a bonus room upstairs, and she doesn't want to stay upstairs because she doesn't want to fall downstairs in the middle of the night. So I'm fine with that. My mom, not Mia. And so whenever anyone's in there, like I can't work. I mean, it's like, because I can't just like pull the bed in and out every single day with all the crap that's in there. And so I was in there working, like not last week, so we were in Myrtle Beach week before that. And I came out and he was like, hey, I moved my office out there. And I was like, okay. He was like, but I need you to help me carry my desk. I was like, all right.
He literally moved it out?
Yeah.
I wonder if did he hear? Was that on our last podcast? You complained about the office?
No, I never really complained about it. I just, because everyone was here, I kept having to go out there. And he was like, well, what if I want to go out there? I was like, you have an office that you can shut the doors. I am kind of stuck because I can't really move when we have a pull-out that couch turns into like a Serta mattress. Like it's a really comfortable like pull-out couch, but yeah. And so he was like, I went out there, and this is not going to surprise you. I went out there and I measured and I like moved some things around. And so now I just need you to help me carry my desk. And I was like, oh, right now? Okay. So
he seems like one of those people when he gets something on his mind, It's happening, yes.
Yes.
I've gotten
and so that was the Thursday after my mom was leaving that Friday, and it was a Thursday before. And so all his stuff is still up in here because I was like, he was like, you're going to change the whole thing. I was like, this is a guy's room. Like, there's an Atlanta Braves thing right here. There's a Masters 80th anniversary. And then he's got like this shelf over here that's like, always my father, forever my friend. Like, no.
Not meaningful to you, yeah.
Like, nothing in here. There's one picture of my son in here. So, it's like, there's...
I think the reason I'm making connections, and you probably haven't listened or watched it yet, is episode 9 I edited last night.
Oh no, I just finished it earlier.
And you were in the outside office and showing it everything. So this is really interesting timing for me, because that's where my head was at.
Not all of, I mean, all of what's behind me won't change. I mean, this will change because, like, I don't like that. It's fine when it's not your room, but I don't know. Yeah.
The one behind you reminds me of something like on those inspirational posters. Like there should be something
it looks like an ominous dock. Like I'm gonna go out there and something's gonna like grab me.
Like what's the one that's up north that's in the swamp? Loch Ness Monster?
Yeah. Well, that's in like
England,
Scotland, right?
Scotland. I don't know. I'm not good with my conspiracy theories.
So when we travel by car, I get really bored in the car, and so I look up fun facts about like where we're going or like what we're driving through. Apparently, in South Carolina, there's a lizard man that lives in the woods. So,
have you seen him?
Yeah.
Have you seen him? No.
I haven't seen him. I'm not from here, so all the facts are fun to me because I'm not from here. But
do you have lizards in South Carolina?
Yeah, I mean we got skinks and other
skinks.
Stuff. Yeah, skink.
What's a skink?
It's a lizard with like the blue tail.
I wonder if that's... we call them salamanders.
Oh, I've always called them skinks growing up.
Okay, maybe that's the same thing.
Yeah,
like
same thing or not, but
it's they're neon, like they change depending on their in the sun. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Skinks. I'm scared to Google it.
I'll Google it.
I don't know what's going to come up.
I'm not on my work computer.
Skinks. Any of about 1,279 species of lizards, mostly secretive ground. This is what I see a lot here, actually.
Yeah. So it says the name is skink.
I thought those were salamanders. So you just educated me. See, I always be learning.
Yeah. So I do have a new office.
Congratulations. Is there another occupant in the office with you?
She's sleeping.
Uh-oh, you don't want to wake her up? Does she have a name?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, she's so tiny. She's so cute. She looks like a big black rug right now. A little black rug.
Her name is Rory. And she's an Irish Doodle.
Rory the Irish Doodle.
Yes. And she is really smart. She's only had, so we got her Saturday. Yeah. And she's only had like 4 accidents in the house. And one of them was our bad. Like it was pouring down rain and it was like 10 p.m. So she gets a pass.
Do you do the little pads, the little pee pads?
No, David's really against those. I think he thinks it encourages them to keep peeing.
To stay inside. And
so she's actually surprisingly been really good about, like, she starts whining when she needs to go outside. And then, what was I going to say? She's already learned how to play ball from Riley. Yes. So, but when we got
Thank you for the video, by the way. That was cool.
She had never touched grass when we got her. And that was just shocking to me.
So what was it like? Did she like put her paw on it really carefully?
Well, so before we got in the car, I like put her down to try and go to the bathroom. And the lady was like, well, she's never touched grass. And we were like, oh. Okay.
Where'd she pee?
I guess just inside on newspaper. I don't know. Because she, like, the lady, there were 4 girls, and David only likes girl dogs. I don't know why, and indifferent. And so she got all 4 of the girls like washed and ready to go. And then we went in, and that's the one I got to pick her out. So that was the one I liked the most. And
how did you gauge which one? Is it like it's a feeling inside, or like?
I mean, I didn't want the most hyper one. So she was kind of like, she wasn't so chill that she was just like like one of them was just like laying there. And I was like, well, I want a dog that's going to play with Riley and, want to be active. But I didn't want one that was like, like constantly trying to jump on me. So she was kind of in the middle, and she kept like, she would go over to the lady, but then she was always the one coming back over to us before the others would. So. And then we found out her name before we got her was Erin, which is my middle name. And so I was like, who is meant to be? So they all had Irish names.
Nice.
Yeah.
This is going to be a weird question, and I just got to ask, because I didn't raise my dog and you're potty training her.
Yes.
Do they instinctively squat, or is that something you have to teach them?
No, she just knows.
So she knows how to do the little Superman mode? Okay. Yeah. That's what I call it. They look at Superman.
Yeah, she knows. And right now, she'll only poop in the front yard.
Does she do the circles? Does she like walking around in a circle first? Yeah.
Like we know, like I said, she's been pretty good. Like she whines and she'll start to circle, and so we run her outside. Our house, we have a crawl space underneath, so our house is actually pretty high off the ground. So to get up to our front porch, I have a true like Southern home. It's what sold me on it. It's got the front porch with the rocking chairs and like big stairs up to it. So it's stairs down to get to the front yard, stairs to get to the backyard, and she's scared of stairs. So she hasn't, going down. She's gone up the stairs twice now, but she won't go down. So we have to take her out.
What a great adventure for you and David.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And Riley's taking to her okay?
So David's had Riley since she was 12 or 13 weeks old. And that was before him and I even met, I think. Yeah, because she's 4 and David and I met like 3.5 years ago. And so, I mean, David is her daddy, and she's mostly jealous of that, I think. And then this one is still in like, I want to chew on everything mode. And she chases Riley's tail and bit her tail one day. So,
aww.
Yeah.
Riley's gonna check her though, right? Probably like.
Oh yeah. I mean, she'll be fine. She just right now is, and we feel bad because like she sleeps in the bed with us right now because we don't trust her to be just
wandering the house,
out on the house,
chewing on things.
Yeah. So once she gets a little bit older, I think it'll all be fine. But like I have her in here and he has Riley out in his office. So she's getting individual time.
The video you sent of her and Riley, they looked like they were getting along. So
yeah, they're outside in the yard. They're running, and she keeps stealing Riley's ball though, which upsets her. But yeah, she's a sweet dog so far.
Well, congratulations!
Thank you.
That's awesome. Rory, the Irish Doodle. Okay.
I saw one at a dog park in Myrtle Beach and was like, my next dog will be an Irish Doodle. They're so pretty. Oh. Irish
Awesome.
Setter and Poodle.
Irish Setter and Poodle. And she's going to get how big?
About Riley's size. So.
Okay. So 60, 70 pounds?
Between like 50 and 60.
50 and 60. Okay.
The girl, it said on, because I Googled these fun facts while we were going. The girl Irish Doodles are smaller than the boys.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And it was a litter of girls? There were no boys?
No, there were 8 puppies, I think, or 7 puppies. So there were 4 girls and like 3 boys.
You didn't get a picture of you with like puppies all over you?
No, it was so funny because David was like, we're only getting one. I was like, I know. I said, do you know that though? And so we're there and he was like, oh my God.
That's the thing about puppies is they're just so adorable.
Yes.
Like, yeah, you just want to, I don't know, eat them. Is that the appropriate? I just want to eat you. Yeah.
That's what some people say. I'm not a big...
It's weird, I know, but it's like with the little babies and their baby feet.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, well, don't eat the babies, don't eat the dogs. This
is probably going to give me away when I've met people's babies. Not all babies are cute. And I feel like all puppies are cute.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. This is not going to give anything away, but when I first started working at the hospital, I was like 18. And there was this lady I worked with, and her daughter had a baby, and she was so proud of this baby. She brought everybody up to the room, and we're in the hospital, so it's just a walk upstairs. And I go over, and they take the blanket off the little baby thing, and I was just like, ooh! It's like, oh. It was the ugliest baby. I was just like, oh my god. And I truly believe that, like, ugly things usually end up beautiful long term, and sometimes the most beautiful babies end up being ugly. So I'm sure that baby was fine, but oh god, it was awful. It was...
No, mine is, oh my god, look at their little toes. Or like, that's what I say whenever it's...
Yeah, I was totally caught off guard because I didn't know there were ugly babies. Like,
yeah.
Now I know. Well, just like there's ugly, like, what, the owl you sent me over the weekend.
Oh yeah, the wet owls, yeah.
Yes, that was ugly.
Well, and like, fresh babies are not cute.
Yeah,
I love my son, and my son was a very cute baby, but fresh.
And their skin's all like translucent, and yeah, it's just weird.
Yeah. So, but yeah, all puppies are cute. I don't think I've ever seen an ugly puppy.
And maybe that's what it was. Maybe I was seeing a fresh baby, like, and Justin had never experienced it before, and maybe that was all it was.
Yeah, if you've never seen a fresh baby, it's a little, yeah.
Yeah, we'll say that's what it was. It was a beautiful baby.
Well, my son is, this makes him sound vain, but he's like, Mommy, can I see baby pictures of myself? And I'm like, sure. And so I was scrolling through, and there was one of him, like, he was like, that's not me. And I was like, yeah, it is. It was the day you were born. He was like, ew. He was like, that's not me. And I flipped to a picture like that was taken an hour later. He goes, see, that's me. And I'm like, son.
Is he too young to show like a in utero picture?
My baby pictures?
No, like, is he too young to show like what he looked like inside you? Would you not show? I don't know if you'd show a kid that.
So he's asked me a couple times, like, and fortunately I had a C-section, so I'm like, oh, they cut you out of me, you know?
Because I guess you'd have a lot of explaining to do if you show him one of those. So.
And so, fortunately, I have that out of like, oh, they took you out of mommy's tummy because they did. And so, yeah, he's like, really? Is there a scar? I'm like, there sure is. Forever.
But he's never seen like him in the womb.
I showed him one time, and he told me it was a skeleton.
Yeah, he's not
I was
wrong.
like, because that's not me. That's a skeleton. I was like, all right. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
how's the garden doing? How's his garden?
We have 3 sprouts now. But they're all from like the cucumber section. I don't know how long it takes things to grow.
A while. Yeah. Longer than... Yeah. My cucumbers came up last week too, and they're all just like, wah. Just sitting there all...
Yeah, I have just the little ones. Like the little, like, couple leaves.
So they're going to spread out, flatten out, and get fat. And then the normal leaves are going to come out of the center of that.
Okay. Yeah. Tomato plant hasn't done anything. None of the other seeds have done anything.
Yeah, you're looking at a good 30 days at least before.
Yeah, I think one of them that I read, it was like 50-something days. I was like, okay.
And I don't know about you guys are probably getting the same cold snap we are right now, right?
It's like 70-something, I think.
So unfair.
Oh, no,
it's like 36 this morning.
It's 66 right now. It was cold this morning because I ran her out when I got up and I had shorts on. I was like, oh my God, it's cold.
Yeah, Yeah.
I wasn't prepared.
It was a cold run too. Not that cold, but it was cold enough for May. I was like, geez, come on already.
Yeah.
Spain's having a heat wave and we're like stuck in 30s in the morning. So
Yeah.
So this is day 8 of your thing?
Well, it's technically 1 because I told you in Myrtle Beach we knew we were
That's right.
going to...
That's right. Every time I talk to you, it's day 1. I forgot. Yes.
But that's the point of it. Well, it's not the point of it, but if you mess up, you have to start over. So this is day 1, and as soon as the SC call is done, I'm going to go do my exercising.
Afternoon exercise?
Yeah.
I have a funny story about myself from the weekend I'll share. I had 2 5Ks this weekend, one on Saturday, one on Sunday. And Friday, I decided not to eat dinner for some reason. I just was like, no, I'm good. I'm just going to have a beer before bed.
The night before a run?
Yeah, the night before 5K. And it's like 5K that's like, I run this course in my neighborhood because it's in my neighborhood. I run it. I know it. I know the hills and everything. Worst performance ever. So moral of the story, which I did that night, I ate dinner and did better the next day. But for your afternoon exercises or whatever, make sure you fuel properly. It's very important.
I played soccer growing up. And we used to, our coaches would be like, eat carbs the night before. Not like heavy carbs, but like carbs. You know.
I did spaghetti the night before the second one.
Yeah, I usually did pasta the night before games. And yeah. That was back when I was young. And eating pasta didn't really mean that much.
That was me flipping my hair back.
No, it's like now if I even like look at pasta, it's like, here's 10 extra pounds for no reason. Back then I could like stack pasta on my head and lose 4 pounds. So
same here. I could eat whatever when I was that age. And I wish, I guess that's what keeps me motivated now to exercise is I don't want to get large. Yeah. I'm already too large in my waist. And I'm like, you've got to go. I should name it at this point. I'd be like Justin 2 down there.
Yeah, that's why we're doing the 75 mark.
God, Justine. That's what I do.
Ooh. Justice.
Old Justine. We need to get rid of you, Justine.
Yeah, it was funny because, you're awake. Come here.
Oh my gosh. Everybody wait for it. We've got a cute dog exclusively on the Otterly Owlsome podcast. This is Rory, an Irish Doodle. Oh my God, there she is. She's so dark you can't even see her eyes. I can't see her eyes.
Say, shut up, Uncle Justin. I'm pretty.
She's looking at you like, I was asleep. You have awakened me from my slumber.
Yeah.
I want to sniff you. Yes, you're still who I remember.
Yeah. So she's got her little puppy teeth.
Did they lose their teeth?
No, I think they lose teeth. I don't know.
Hey, put your hand in front of the camera real quick. You got blurry. There you go. Not working. It's like when you got her, it went weird. Oh my gosh. She's like, I don't know what's going on.
I don't know. Let's see. Oh, there we go.
There you go. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So do they lose their teeth?
I think puppies lose their teeth because she's got little bitty sharp teeth right now.
She just wants to lick your face. Aww. That's so adorable. We should make a short just of this.
I know.
She keeps looking you in the eyes. That's so cool. How do you feel about the tongue in the face?
No, not my thing.
Yeah.
So as a puppy, I'm less cared about it. But so my best friend, God love her, she's got 2 dogs, and one of them she lets them both just like lick all over her, and I'm like, no. She's like, but it's love. I'm like, I don't. Mm-mm.
Do you want me to gross you out?
They lick their butts. I don't.
Yeah, that's like more than that.
Well, I know, but yeah.
There's a lady I subscribe to on YouTube, and she brings wolf dogs.
Ooh.
And they're beautiful, beautiful dogs. And you can watch them do this, so I believe her. They affectionately greet each other by licking each other's teeth. So it's tongue and mouth. And so she does that with them. She lets them put their tongue in her teeth, on her teeth. And it's like, if you watch it, you'd think you'd be watching like illegal porn. Like, it's just like, that is so disgusting. But in seriousness, like I've read and I've heard, and I see it in my own dog, that's how they show affection. They want to lick your face. And I try not to let it happen too much, but every once in a while I'm like, okay, you can get your, whatever those hormones are called, by giving affection, let her have some, but then stop, because it's gross.
Yeah. I don't mind.
She just keeps looking you in the eyes, though. It's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think your mama.
Yeah.
Oh, she's so cute. How fast did they grow? Is it going to be like a week from now where she's going to be climbing all over you?
I think I read that they'll be full grown by like 9 months or something, or a year.
That is fast.
Yeah. Because she's smaller than Riley was when David got her, but Riley was like 4 weeks older. So.
Do you remember that time, like, I guess, what age was it? Probably like 11 or 12, and it may have been earlier for you, where you go through that big growth spurt.
Yes.
And like your bones hurt.
Faster. Yeah.
Do you remember the pain?
I didn't really have pain, because I've always been really tall. And so I guess people who don't know me, I'm like 5'9". And like, I mean, I was always like in all of my class pictures, like I was in the back. And
so you didn't have the growing pains. I'm using quotes, but I literally had them. My bones would ache. Yeah. So I'm just like thinking, like, how would the dog go through to grow that fast in 9 months?
That's true. Their bones probably are meant for it.
She is so black.
Well, that's the back of her head.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a black blob in front of me on the camera.
Yeah. Well, it's
congratulations.
Like, I mean, I hit my growth spurt probably in like 6th or 7th grade, maybe even before then. But I mean, I haven't grown any taller since probably 8th or 9th grade. And like David told me when he graduated high school, he was like 5'7".
Yeah, boys are later. Yeah.
And I'm like, what? Like when you graduated high school? So.
I remember being frustrated in high school because it seemed like everybody was growing but me.
Yeah.
And it finally comes. But
well, I was briefly taller than my brother. And it killed him. Like very briefly, because he's 2 years older. So I mean, it was like very, very briefly.
But it's long enough in child years to be a traumatic memory, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, because he's only 1 inch taller than me. So.
Oh, I did time check you. Do you have to go somewhere?
I don't actually.
Okay. I want to be respectful of your time. I've got skinks still on my other monitor. Keep looking over there. I need something else over there.
I'm just surprised you never heard of a skink. Like that's.
Never heard of it. I see them all the time. Yeah. In fact, they like to stay in the shade, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you cut their tail off, it'll grow back.
Yeah. I grew up with lizards like down in Florida.
Yeah.
And we used to, you could take a lizard and you can flick its head and they'll like hiss at you and they'll open their mouth. And then you hang them off your ears because they'll clamp down on your earlobe and you can't feel it.
You're such a boy.
And then you can just go in and scare your mom. You know, you have lizards hanging off your ears and get out of my house.
You're such a boy.
Yeah.
I would have never done that.
It was me and 4 other boys, so.
Yeah, we grew up by a creek. So, like, we would go down and catch crawdads and fall in the creek. And then that's where I found out I'm, like, severely allergic to poison ivy. Like, not normal allergic, like, really allergic.
Yeah, I think my brother was like that. I can touch it and wash my hands and I'm fine.
No, not me. My whole body turns red.
Yeah. Speaking of pain. I had Allison's new puppy on the list of things. I figured that would take some time. I also made a note. You may have caught it in the episode. In the episode that comes out this week, I was editing last night. You had a lot of video issues. For me, I couldn't see you. You froze, and it's so funny to rewatch it because the video is fine, and I'm sitting there saying you're frozen, and you're just like moving around talking. So kudos to this service. Like it kept recording on your end. So now I guess we should just pause while I don't know. It looks weird because I'm saying something's wrong, and everybody's going to be like, "What's Justin's problem?" But
Justin's lost.
might not be untrue.
That's
after this weekend. Any big plans around ServiceNow this week?
this week. Let's see. What am I doing this week? I'm finishing up a gap analysis on a customer roadmap to tell them like if I see any gaps in their plan, which is kind of fun.
About the roadmap.
I'm just the sanity checker. I'm the, hey, did we do this right? Let's see what else.
And by that you mean, let me just translate. You can't put that in front of this or after that. You've got to do it in this order. It's what you're talking about.
Or hey, you wanted to do service mapping, but discovery's not on here. Might want to think about that.
I mean, you could. It's just manual.
Yeah. So stuff like that, and they actually did a really good job on it. There's a couple things that I've noticed so far, and then I'm wrapping up helping out these.
the one that you and I are familiar with. Okay.
So I'm
gonna have to use the owl again.
I know. So I have that I'm wrapping up. Do you want Dan to go play?
She may want to pee. She just got it from a nap.
And now it's sleeping.
I was trying not to watch you clean.
That's fine.
I didn't mean to jinx it, but I figured she'd probably have to go pee.
Yeah, she just woke up.
After a nap. I think we should leave it. It was cute. I mean, I can cut you out getting up and everything, but...
Yeah. No one needs to see me clean, but yeah. Her peeing is fine. It's pretty funny.
Could you hear me talking when you went to the other room?
No.
I was saying that I can see... I got my answer about her squatting or not. It was a very natural position. Yes, she was. Yeah. So it must be wired into their brains, like how to go to the bathroom. Does Riley pee like a boy sometimes?
No.
Haley does all the time. It freaks me out. Lifts the leg and tries to... She can't do it, but she tries to pee on trees and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Trying to make sure she wasn't going somewhere to poop.
She also humped a dog in a dog park once.
That's fun. Would she grow up around boy dogs?
No idea. No idea. I've read, though, I don't know how true it is, that that's just a sign of dominance.
Oh.
But I'm no...
I'm mostly peeing.
What's that?
The peeing part. The peeing is a sign of dominance? I know the humping is.
Humping? But... Yeah, the peeing, I think, is communication. Interesting. Like territory communication.
Interesting.
Like you're in my territory.
Yeah.
Just let me pee on this tree. Just sounds funny when you say it aloud. Okay, so
ServiceNow this week. I've got my roadmap. I've got hopefully wrapping up that customer.
When you say wrapping up, meaning like signing off, we're live, everything. Gotcha.
Yep, I redid all their services and service offerings. Gotten those imported. I just need to get some demo data in there for them to play with their report, and then we should hopefully.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm glad to see that. The project manager wants to talk to me about. There's some additional groups that want to start using it, so he was like, "Can we talk about that?" And I'm like, "Sure." They're non-IT groups, so.
That is the one. Of all ServiceNow's critiques, like the bad things you can say about ServiceNow, the one good thing is you put this in a company, and I guarantee you, a non-IT group will say, "I want to use that." Oh, yeah. It happens every single time.
And they adopt it easier than the IT people because they're like, finally, somewhere to track my stuff.
Yeah, I just need to see where stuff is. I need to know the progress. It's funny. I'm struggling with, and I'm not asking for help. I'm just sharing. So I'm not putting you on the spot.
Why don't you want my help?
No, I didn't mean I don't want your help. Jesus. I'm not trying to put you to work for me, is what I mean. But if you want to help, it's always welcome. So I use my portal, my PDI, for most things that I'm creating on online content. So I'm using the ideas function to just dump ideas in.
Yeah.
And I've got content, it's a table. So that means I'm doing something, I'm tracking what status it is, stuff like that. And those content items have tasks associated with them. And eventually I'm going to link them to like, here's the YouTube video, here's the Instagram reel, here's the TikTok video, so that I can connect all those things. And then I have things like that take more than one step to do. Right? So like what if I wanted to show DevOps, like we were talking about in the previous episode? Well, to do DevOps, I've got to do some integrations. And to do some integrations, I've got to set some time aside to actually work on it. So it's not a one and done kind of thing. And so what I'm struggling with in ServiceNow is those are 3 different buckets that could even be categorized amongst themselves, right? I might have an idea that's about tracking expenses for my business, but I want to put it somewhere. So these 3 different buckets and keeping my visibility on them. So knowing like that's not moving, or I need to put that on the calendar, I need to schedule that, or that's going to wait and that's deliberate. So I'm still working through how I'm going to keep track of it all. But man, I don't know if you saw my post last week, I've got everything in a workspace now, which has just been life-changing for me. Like I don't have to go to my favorites menu, look at this thing, and then go back to my favorites menu and go look at that thing. I can just stay in a workspace, which is
the power of the workspace.
Yeah, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid when it comes to workspaces. Trust me. I love them. And it's teaching me about them too. So if you ever learn anything about managing all your work in one place, let me know.
That's all your ServiceNow stuff this week.
For me? Are you, or for you?
For you.
For me? I wasn't expecting you to ask me a question. Let's see. This week,
fun scoping calls.
This week is actually, I'm knock on wood, is a lighter week. This is great. Thank you for asking that question. It sounds like it was intentional for a segue. This week or next week, I'm not sure which because they haven't set a date, but Q2 we're in Q2. So April was the first month, May is the second month. And this is when ServiceNow usually does their store release for Q2, is at the beginning of this month. So I actually have some appointments on the calendar for what's new in the Q2 store release for customer service management I'm looking at, strategic portfolio management. So there are educational things. So I'm glad it's a light week because I have a feeling that's going to consume my time, is just catching up with what's all new as I do. And then other than that, we have a guest recording this week. I'm excited about that. I need to do my homework on that so I can...
He's super chill. I think you'll like him.
Yeah, so far what I've seen, could we say who it is or should we wait until it's official? Like we've recorded it?
I mean...
Because he might bail in the last minute because of conflict or something, right?
It'll be a surprise.
Okay. Very special guest. It'll be our first guest.
Yes.
And that'll be critical to figuring out how to do it.
Yeah. I believe in you.
Thank you. I should say thank you. And that's pretty much the big stuff. I don't have a lot of customer meetings this week. In fact, I felt bad because I need to invite Brian to stuff because we're trying to get him up to speed on the non-other stuff. I'm trying not to say words that I have to bleep out. On non-other stuff that he's working on, and I don't have a lot to invite him to. I have one that I don't want to invite him to because I'm just like, you don't want this drama.
That's
but yeah.
See, I have a bunch of one-on-ones this week. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 one-on-ones this week.
I miss doing one-on-ones. How do you feel about them?
So I meet with my boss every week. So I guess there's 8 if I count my own one-on-one. And it's really funny because like everyone's like, I don't have really any 2 people who use them the same way. So it's
Makes
like
sense.
some people we just like, we meet, we chat, you know, I make sure their projects are good. I make sure life is good. They're not stressed out or burnout. I have others, like I had one this morning where she wanted to talk about like career progression and planning. So we put in some IDPs and kind of talked about, you know, she wants to become an architect. And so we talked about that. And then I have others where they're like, I don't need to talk to you, I'm canceling. And I'm like, you have to talk to me once a month at a minimum. So I don't know, it varies.
Is there a benefit for you?
I mean, I like knowing that my people don't need anything, like, or if they do, they have the space to tell me. And I mean, like, I'm really big on making sure people aren't burnt out because, you know, sometimes it just happens. And,
Yeah.
you know, I always tell them, like, I can't fix things I don't know about. So if you don't tell me, I can't do anything. And so, you know.
I haven't done them in a while, but when I had a team, I found them when there wasn't an issue, like there wasn't something you were trying to fix or make better. I found them energizing because I wanted to go work on everybody's little to-do list myself, you know, but they were going to do them. So
well, and when I first started managing people here, I actually had like a OneNote for everybody, so, because like details matter in my opinion, and so I wanted to make sure I had everyone's either significant other's name, kid's name, pet name. Like I wanted to make sure, like if I was talking,
I'm exactly the same.
I wanted to make sure I could specifically say like, how is insert name. And I don't really need it anymore, but at the time, like I was very like, I had where they lived. Like it sounds creepy, but I was like, if your boss takes time to like know those things, like I feel like it shows interest.
Yeah, and the price of getting it wrong is really costly.
Yeah,
like it's a lot of distrust you might. So
well, and I feel like if you're asking like how is, and then you insert the name instead of just how's your wife, how's your husband, like I feel like saying the name, they're like, oh, like she knows their name, and I'm like, yeah.
Do you have any? This is so
that.
good.
Well, I don't pry for the information. Like I have several people that report to me like, I know they're married, but I don't know their name because they've never said it. I'm never like, now what is their name?
That's where I was going. I was like, what if someone doesn't want to share?
Yeah. And if they don't, then I'll just be like, you know, how's life? How's the family? How's, you know? So
you keep it general. Yeah. I've had very private people, and I'm like that myself. Yeah. It'll take me a while to open up to somebody, not because I don't want to share, it's just because I'm not immediately trusting of everybody. Yeah.
So we did, was it last year or the year before last? We did our predictive index. Have you ever done that?
Mm-mm. PI.
Okay, so I've done like the Myers-Briggs and the I've done several. This is the first time I had done this one, and it was really interesting because like the first section is just a bunch of words, and you're supposed to fill it out on how you like view yourself. How you think how you should act in the role you have, like what you think you should embody in the role you have. And then the second one is how you actually think you are. And it was really interesting because mine was like spot on.
On both ends? Like,
well, it takes this like graph and it tells you like, so we did it for our senior leadership team. I am the senior leadership team's brake pedal. I'm the like, guys, why are we doing this? And if you can't tell me, maybe we should pump the brakes. So
I'm Googling it.
Yeah. So,
there's a company called the Predictive Index.
Yeah.
That's who you did it through?
Yeah. And so it was funny because we did it as a leadership team so we could kind of see like everyone, because we have some people like Jen Huval who's like, gas pedal, let's just go. And I'm like, that's why we work really well together. It's because like we're a good balance. And it was funny because there was another thing where it takes the two answers and puts them in like this chart. And one of my skills, and apparently it's a unique skill, is I have something that lines up the same, which means I am able to look at things from all angles before I make decisions. I was like, oh.
So if I'm trying to think, as opposed to somebody like you were mentioning, Jen, who locks on to something and is like, oh, there's David again, he's making an appearance. Yo, he's backing out. I can blur you out, don't worry, dude. Okay, that's just creepy. I was going to say, so as opposed to somebody like Jen who maybe locks onto an idea, charges forward, but doesn't think about the different angle or the different things that might cause it to go wrong or not as intended, is what you're saying. So you're seeing all the...
Well, no, like, so let me use a real life example that will resonate with you very well. When I work with the salespeople and you guys, I'm able to look all around what we're trying to do instead of just looking at it from one lens saying there's no way we can figure this out. Like, I feel like I work really well with like different audiences to try and meet in the middle of solving the problem instead of just being like, no.
Yeah. Okay. So you're like, Justin is trying to sell something, but Allison's trying to deliver on what we're selling. And you understand I'm motivated by X and you're motivated by Y. And you can see the two come together rather than just focusing on your stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see from all angles of, what we're all trying to do. So like I said, I'm always amazed by those because that one was really accurate because I'm naturally introverted. It drains me. It doesn't. And most leaders are kind of the opposite where they're like fueled by that type of thing.
Yeah. You and I are like...
My profile is called the scholar.
You need a little, like, the diploma hat.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the robe. Get a robe.
Yes. I'm sure my high school robe is still at my mom's house.
And that way you can wear whatever you want underneath. So I picture judges. They're basically naked underneath the robes.
Pretty much. But yeah, the predictive index was good. And it was cool to see like how we were mapped. And the other part that was interesting is they gave you a, what they call it, like a relationship guide of like how, like me and my boss, I think hers is like the Maverick or something. Like she's like full speed ahead, and I'm like, I can go, but I need to know the why and the how, and like I'm much more analytical. And so it talks about like if you send me a meeting invite without an agenda, like if I don't know you, it's stressful. Like did I need to prepare something? Did I need to like bring something with me? Like stuff like that. It says actually in the relationship guide, like put agenda items, do X, so.
Yeah, one of my favorite things that surprisingly happens more often than I'd like is I show up to a meeting and they're like, so Justin, are you going to do the demo? I'm like, no. Like, you did not tell me there's a demo?
Yeah. I love it when I join a meeting that I got invited to last minute. They're like, okay, Allison's going to lead the call. And I'm like,
nope.
Oh, what are we talking about? Yeah.
Yeah. The dysfunction junction right there.
Yeah. Ooh, one thing fun I did last week. I was a CTA reviewer, like almost every day last week.
For people getting their certified technical architect?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was in 4 different reviews, all drastically different.
Anybody get the hell no?
There was one that we don't get to see the score at the end. Like you go through and it's a rubric. So I mean, like you could pass with flying colors in one section and get a low score in the other. So I don't know what, I think they'll all pass. There's one that might be borderline. But I mean, they do it in a pretty fair way. Like, we see the questions ahead of time so we know what to like look and listen for. And like, we get, what's cool about it is they send you the reviewer guide. So like, I get the entire case study that they're reporting against. So I get that, and then they send us the rubric. They did change it this year to where they send you, like, you take on a persona. So you're either an enterprise architect or a program manager. Now they give you a standard list of questions you can ask from to make it fair, which I was like, I totally get that. But also I'm like, they didn't have that when I was doing CMA. Anyone could ask anything they want. But it was a standard list of questions you could ask from. And then they're supposed to send you their presentation like the Thursday before so that you can kind of like go through, figure out what questions you might want to ask. And so it's really like a cool way that they do it. But it's funny because the wild cards, you never know how people are going to present ever. And like, I'm always like, do you want me to give you time warnings? Because they only get 30, they have to do 2 different presentations and they get 30 minutes a piece. And they're like back to back. And so only one guy took me up on time warnings. 2 of them should have, because they were, one guy was
always take up. Yeah.
Well, one guy was like, no, like, I know how long it's going to take me. I've practiced. And I'm like, I got questions. Like,
you did not factor in my questions.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is like, how do you time something not knowing what someone's going to ask is really, you know, because like, what, I mean, some of them have like 30 some odd slides for 30 minutes.
Oh no, that's not good. Yeah.
And yeah, so I mean, they all did like a good job. Like last year I had a couple that, like, one of them, and like, I hate to talk bad about people, but like the colors were like that throw up green brown color. You know what I'm talking about?
Like the colorblind guy that always has the wrong colors.
No, but and he ran over and he was kind of like a jerk to me whenever I was like, I gotta go.
Thanks.
And so that guy didn't feel so bad about it. The other people, you know, that didn't pass, I actually felt really bad because one of the guys, I didn't know he didn't pass, and I felt horrible, which I shouldn't because it's graded on a rubric, whatever.
Right.
But yeah, but it's really cool. I mean, it's a cool process, and I think it's neat that they let like peers do it, and they record it so it's audited, so that if there's a discrepancy, like the entire thing is like, even us going through the rubric is recorded. And
so there's some kind of like an appeal process of Allison was mean to me. Go watch the recording.
Or I disagree, blah, because of whatever reason. And I think so. I don't know if they still do this, but with the CMA program, they had, I'm trying to remember what it was, but they had kind of like a curve or something, or a line. I don't know. It was like anyone over this pack. I don't remember how it was. And I'm sure that's all changed because that was almost 4 years ago. But the recording is new, I think, because I don't think I got recorded last year on them. But this year, they recorded from like the second we joined, because the reviewers had to join early, and they recorded like all the way through. So.
I've noticed since COVID that things like that have gotten easier.
Yeah.
Like the whole record, like what we're doing, I don't think existed before.
Yeah.
All that. So.
But I don't know if they're going to watch every single one, or they'll only do it if there's like someone on the line of passing. And so they're like, oh, well, maybe, because like I felt actually really bad for this guy. His presentation like just wouldn't send to us like at all. Like, and he even showed us like him mailing it to us. And when you get to the rubric, you're like, did they talk about that? And then we try and like, we pull their presentation back up and kind of be like, oh yeah. And we couldn't do that with his because we didn't have it. And so like on one of them, we're like, we're going to give him the benefit of the doubt on this one. And, yeah.
So you guys are grading as a team, not as a
Well, we each can grade individually because we're playing different personas. So, like, as an architect, I'm hoping certain things. And as the program, like one of them, as a program manager, I even put, like, he was too technical.
I think I already just started it. Gotcha. So you say the personas, you're grading from that persona.
Yeah.
Not role playing with them is what I was thinking at first. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you come up with a sign off for us yet? I have not.
Yeah.
You came up with a great name. I figured you might come up with a sign off.
I'll have to go back to Target and look at the greeting card.
All right. Well, until then,
yeah.
Have a great rest of your week.
All right.
Thank you for your time today, and I hope you enjoyed the landscaping equipment that I've been muting since they arrived.
And I will talk to you again with our guest speaker.
Oh, next?
Later this week.
Oh, yes, later this week. Sorry. Yes. See you then. All right.
Bye. Bye.